Which of the following statements is correct per the given policy? The policy provides, oh, Jesus. Starting off bad here. Okay. This is the policy. Take a couple of seconds. Back to deny action. Spruce. Effect allow. Okay, which of the following statements is correct per the given policy? The policy provides put object and get object access to all objects in the example bucket, as well as provides access to all S3 actions on objects starting with private in the example bucket. The policy denies put object and get object access to all buckets except the example bucket, private bucket. The policy provides put object and get object access to all buckets except the example bucket, private bucket. The policy provides put object and get object access to all objects in the example bucket except the objects that start with private. The policy provides put object and get object access to all objects in the example bucket except the objects that start with private. Okay, so basically it's saying that the private is a resource, like that's this, it is basically the same as the example bucket, except for it has a, I guess, endpoint, private endpoint. All right. Your development team uses the AWS SDK for Java on a web application that uploads files to several S3 buckets using the SSE KMS encryption mechanism. Developers are reporting that they are receiving permission errors when trying to push their objects over HTTP. Which of the following headers should they include in their requests? Okay, X-AMZ server-side encryption, AWS KMS, SSE KMS, SSE S3, AES 256. X-AMZ server-side encryption, AWS KMS. An IT company is using CloudFormation to manage its IT infrastructure. It has created a template to provision a stack, right, with a VPC and a subnet. The output value of this subnet has to be used in another stack. Which of the following options would you suggest to provide this information to another stack? FN transform, export field in the output section of the stacks template, FN import value, expose field in the output section of the stacks template. Oh, it says export and expose. Okay. Use export field in the output section of the stacks template to share information between stacks. Export a stack's output values. Other stacks that are in the same AWS account and region can import the exported values. All right, I'll need to study that. You have a Kinesis data stream with 10 shards, okay. And from the metrics, you are well below the throughput utilization of 10 millibytes per second to send data. You send 3 megabytes per second of data, and yet you are receiving provision throughput exceeded exception errors frequently. What is the likely cause of this? The data retention period is too long. Metrics are too slow to update. The partition key that you have selected isn't distributed enough. You have too many shards. Partition key that you have selected isn't distributed enough. Set of your shard is uniquely identified SQL data streams. The partition key is used by Kinesis to distribute data across shards. Segregates the data records that belongs to a stream into multiple. So each data record to determine. Okay, more or less, I get it. One more. A firm maintains a highly available application that receives HTTPS traffic from mobile devices and web browsers. The main developer would like to set up the load balancer routing to route traffic from web servers to smart API and for mobile devices to SmartCom Mobile. A developer advises that the previous recommendation is not needed and that requests should be sent to APISmart.com and mobilesmart.com instead. Which of the following routing options were discussed in the given use case? Web browser version, path-based, host-based, client IP, cookie value. Path-based, host-based. All right. That's good enough for now.